It's Thursday, January 8th.
And the Constitution is under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back.
Protests and vigils across the U.S. overnight after an ICE agent fatally shoots a woman in Minneapolis.
And dramatic video captures the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau, landing on the ice below.
And the referee towards the goal. Rebound in front, they score!
And the Ottawa Senators lose their second in a row, falling 3-1 to the Mammoth in Utah. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now.
Good morning. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Willa Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And we're going to start our newscast today with developing news out of the United States. A woman is dead after she was shot by an immigration and customs enforcement officer in Minneapolis. The shooting was captured on camera, and a warning to all of our viewers, the video in this story is disturbing. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown when a woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle to attack officers. Officials say the victim was a 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed Macklin Good was shot in her vehicle, alleging that she tried to run over law enforcement officers, claiming that a federal agent feared for his safety and opened fire. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey had strong words for the agency after the incident.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Tensions in the city are high. The shooting took place just blocks away from the scene of George Floyd's murder at the hands of police back in 2020. The FBI has taken over the investigation. The officer involved has now been released from hospital.
And the Constitution is under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back.
And there were protests and vigils across America in the hours just after the shooting, including this one you see here in New York City.
Turning now to dramatic video capturing the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Traverse Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say two vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it could be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time.
Elsewhere, Ottawa police are investigating a car flipping over on St. Laurent Boulevard. The car flipped over during the afternoon commute. It was still there in the evening, and police say that two vehicles were involved in the crash. Ontario Provincial Police have fined a driving instructor for distracted driving. Police say the instructor was seen scrolling on a cell phone while driving on Moody Drive. The phone was attached to the dashboard. Police issuing a reminder, you can never scroll on your phone while driving, even if you're not holding it.
The former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the National Holocaust Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Aspenleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months in custody. In July, Aspenleader pleaded guilty to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed Me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people. Here's what his lawyer had to say after sentencing.
I mean, the judge issued an incredibly thoughtful, well-reasoned, and compassionate decision that I think recognized the harm that was caused by the offense, but also Mr. Aspenleader's personal circumstances.
A number of groups denouncing the judge's decision, including the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, which says the sentence does not reflect the gravity of what is indeed a hateful act and its impact on the Jewish community, not only in Ottawa, but across Canada.
New province-wide recycling rules are now in effect for your black and blue bins. Recycling is now managed by the province instead of the city, but there will be no changes to your collection day. The province has shifted the blue bin program to Circular Materials, which is a nonprofit representing the producers of paper and packaging materials. What can go in and out of your recycle bin now is the same for every municipality across Ontario.
At a province-wide level, probably the biggest change is we're moved to a new unified and expanded material list.
For the updated list of what can go in the bins, those blue and black bins, you can head to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
To sports now. The Ottawa Senators were hoping the trip to Utah would get them back in the win column.
And the referee towards the goal. Rebound in front, they score! Banged in.
That was the only goal the Sens would make. The final score, 3-1 for the Mammoth. Up next is a date in Colorado against the league-leading Avalanche tonight. Puck drop is at 9.
Lego is showcasing a piece of its future with its first ever smart brick.
And I can engage these two in battle. And you can see the registration here on this brick.
Okay, I know our director Mike is watching with awe right now. The new light-up brick contains a chip and a speaker, allowing it to interact with whatever design it's part of, like this Star Wars creation. Lego showed off the innovation at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
Reaction from fans has been underwhelming so far, but the company says the new tech is here to stay.
Underwhelming until next Christmas, and it's on every kid's wish list, right?
For sure. I mean, I can just remember playing with my toys where you have to make the sound effects and pretend like each toy or each stuffed animal, whatever it is you're fighting with, are hitting each other. Now they've added that in.
Right. Very exciting.
I think that's super cool.
Great birthday gift idea as well.
Get them thinking right now. They don't have to wait till Christmas. There's birthdays from now to then, and you never know. Get them while they're hot. They could just be gone.
Well, we have a very mild day ahead.
Yes.
Sunshine today. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, and you'll feel the mild conditions as soon as you head outside this morning. Temperatures already sitting at 1, so not very cold to start things off. It does feel closer to -3 with that wind chill, but a break and a relief on the way from all that cold weather we saw last weekend through your weekend. And temperatures mild across the region. Trenton sitting at 2, 1 for Kingston, Brockville, -1 currently out in the valley. So it will be a little bit cloudy to start off your morning. We will see cloudy conditions till about 9, 10 o'clock. Then those clouds will shift through and we'll get to see sunshine for today. So it's a beautiful sunny day. Temperatures today above that freezing mark and way above seasonal. So get outside and enjoy it because we do have more cold weather on the way. As we head into tomorrow, not great news. We do have lots of rain on the way starting late in the morning, and we are expecting about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. You can see all this green on our screen. It's going to continue to rain throughout the day on Friday, and that's because temperatures will be so warm. However, it will then drop down overnight Friday and into your day on Saturday. So we could see this rain shift to snow, and after the 5 to 10 millimeters of rain, we could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. So a little bit of wacky weather on the way. Mild today, sunny, and then rain, and then snow. A little bit of everything in the mix for us this week. 2 degrees is the daytime high for today. We will see a mix of sun and clouds. So again, a beautiful day to get outside, maybe shovel if you haven't caught up on all your shoveling on your yard work, or even visit some of the ski hills. It's going to be beautiful for skiing conditions today. 2 degrees throughout most of the region today. Lots of sunshine on the way. 3 for Trenton as well as in Kingston and along the Seaway for today. 2 degrees in Petawawa as well as in Gatineau. 0 is your daytime high over Mont Tremblant. So in the 7-day forecast, that's when you're going to see this shift in temperatures and shift in the wacky weather. Sunshine today, 2 degrees is the high. -3 is the overnight low for tonight. Warmer for tomorrow, 6 degrees for Friday. That's why we're expecting periods of rain in the forecast for us. 5 up to 10 millimeters. Shifting to snow, but we could still see some wet snow in with a little bit of rain as we head into the day on Saturday. But we could see 5 up to 10 centimeters, mainly late in the day on Saturday, continuing into your Sunday. Slightly colder for Sunday with a high of -2. But overall, we're going to see temperatures above seasonal over the next 7 days. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. No major issues to report, just a traffic note for you. For those of you using transit this morning, there is a stop train on the Line 1 service. It's operating on the eastbound platforms only at Lyon, Pimisi, Bayview, and Tunney's Pasture. So you'll have to change trains at Lyon. Now let's check out your TSN Must-See Moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we head to Charlotte, where the Raptors were in town. Toronto down 2 in the dying seconds. Manuel quickly with the catch and shoot off the inbound. He calls game from downtown with a huge buzzer beater. The Raptors rallying from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter. It's their 5th win in 6 games, and very quickly earned your must-see moment from Wednesday. Coming up tonight on TSN, we've got the college football playoff semifinal between number 10 Miami. They're going up against number 6 Ole Miss. It all gets underway at 6 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Well, your Morning Ottawa and TSN 1200 want to give you the ultimate Ottawa Black Bears team experience. Your youth squad could be there for the Winter Games night on February 7th. It's a game celebrating minor sports and lacrosse fun. One lucky youth team will score tickets for their whole roster. Submit your team on our contest page, ctvottawa.ca. And coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, concerns about comfort and safety as WestJet redesigns its cabins. That story is coming up just after the break. Taking a peek outside, there's Centennial Glass Skycam. As Melissa mentioned, some rainfall in the forecast, temperatures above seasonal for the next few days, saying goodbye to some of that snow. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Here are the big stories we are following today on Your Morning Ottawa. Fury in Minnesota after an ICE agent shoots and kills a 37-year-old woman during a raid, with the entire scene caught on video. Dramatic video in Gatineau of a car driving over a bridge and landing on the ice. Emergency crews say the driver did not appear to be injured. The former City of Ottawa employee who vandalized the National Holocaust Monument will not be serving any more time behind bars. The judge handing down a suspended sentence. Now let's check on the forecast.
Well, temperatures will be above seasonal today, and that beautiful sunshine makes a return above the freezing mark all the way up to 2 degrees. And enjoy it today, because then it looks like we do have some messy conditions. It's going to stay warm, but rainfall will be on the way. Melissa will break it all down for us once we get after a newscast. Taking a look at the ad-lib traffic. Line 1 on the O train does have a backup at Lyon, so if you are taking that route on a daily basis, just know there are changes this morning. Just head to their website to find alternate routes on how the best way to get there. Other than that, things are moving quite smoothly.
WestJet recently announced a cabin redesign to add more seats, but passengers say it means less legroom. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the concerns around comfort and safety.
Dad, could you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible. Economy class isn't known for its expansive legroom, but recent changes to some WestJet planes have some customers saying the airline has gone too far.
It was shocking to get in there and then have my dad, who is 6'3", so he's tall, but not like abnormal human height, physically not be able to fit in the seat.
Mom, how about you? Amanda Schmidt posted this video to social media showing just how cramped their WestJet flight from Edmonton to Toronto was.
You can hear us joking and laughing in the video because it was like, it felt like a joke.
But the Schmidt family says not only were they uncomfortable, they also felt unsafe. In the fall, WestJet announced a new cabin configuration to offer different prices for seat selection and says the changes were rigorously tested and comply with all safety standards. The airline says the new configuration allows the carrier to keep airfares low. To continue to do so, we need to try new products. These aircraft accommodate an extra row by varying seat pitch between 38 and 28 inches. But some passengers say just because an airline can reduce legroom doesn't mean they should.
It's gotten worse, actually. Yeah. Yeah, no, we were very uncomfortable flying out with them.
While others say they feel airlines are nickel and diming passengers on everything from legroom to luggage.
If there's too many little fees, it's better just to go with a different airline.
WestJet says they are monitoring the rollout of these new seat configurations and will take into account feedback from both passengers and staff on the changes that have been made. Heather Wright, CTV News.
Okay, so I'm somebody that, like, I've got long legs. Like, I'm not that tall. I'm 6 feet, but I've got, like, longer limbs. And I think at that point, like, when you look at that video, WestJet, like, I understand, you know, from a business standpoint, like, maybe you're trying to make a little more, you're trying to, like, do different classes, but that is an unacceptable amount of space when you're already paying probably so much for it.
You're still paying a lot of money. And when you think about it, I love how the daughter made that video. And how you doing, Dad? No leg room. And they brought up the safety, right? Because it just seems like there's so little room. How do you get out in a hurry when you've got this much space? I tell you, you have to be very zen sitting in such a small space like that.
Yeah, because like, no room. The knees were shoved up against that entire flight. Like you said, safety reason, moving around. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how long that program lasts. Well, a consumer advocacy group is accusing the Ontario government of weaponizing the LCBO as the premier promises to follow through on a threat to take Crown Royal off the liquor store shelves next month. The treat from Doug Ford comes after the company announced that it would close its Ontario facility. Let's bring in Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA. And Bill, we've been talking about this for a while. Let's get your thoughts as of this point.
Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, it's true. He is weaponizing the LCBO. The difference is, unlike this consumer group, I'm not suggesting he do something else different. I'm proud of him that he's weaponizing the LCBO. Look, they make arguments that in normal times actually make sense, right? What kind of signal are you sending out as a government when you say, you know, if you move to Ontario and then later make a different business decision the government doesn't like, they will punish you for it. That is a very negative signal, but these are not ordinary times. What he's doing is try to counter the economic war that's being waged against us by the United States of America. He's trying to send out a signal that if you give in to Donald Trump's threats, then you will face consequences from the Premier of Ontario. So we're trying to balance the scales a little bit. I don't see anything wrong with that. I know the Ontario Liberal leader says it's unlike a conservative free enterprise premier and government to do something like this. But again, these are not normal times. So yes, it's economic warfare. Yes, it's a threat. Absolutely. We're weaponizing the LCBO, and good for us.
Yeah, and Bill, do you think on the flip side of things, of course, just playing a little devil's advocate here, they say that it's going to hurt us in the future. Do you think there's any truth to that potentially?
I think we're going to be hurt in the future anyway with what's going on with tariffs. So we're actually trying to minimize that pain, not to make it worse. So, no, I think this is the right move. I think he should stand by it. Hope he does.
Yeah, well, maybe by the time we finish this talk, the boar will actually start to pour out because, as you noticed from the video, it took quite some time. I think he chose the wrong size bottle. That'll forever be a great clip.
It will be. I just wish he hadn't given so much advance notice because now people are just stocking up on Crown Royal. But I have a little Crown Royal at the bar. It's been there for 10 years. Does it go bad? I have no idea.
I don't think so, but those are college days talking. I don't even want to go down that road. But Bill, have a great show, my friend.
You too, guys.
And remember, you can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 6 until 10 a.m.
Coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, we are taking your comments on children's books. What is your favorite kids' book? We want to know. We'll share our favorite books on the show coming up just after the break. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. We'll be right back. Coming up a little later today, we're going to introduce you to a local children's book author to tell us about his new release. So today on Your Morning Ottawa, we are asking for your comments on kids' books. What's your favorite children's book? Let us know. email us at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. We'll hear from you a little later on in the show, but right now we got to hear from all of us.
Yeah,
right?
It got me thinking because I read a lot of children's books. We read to our kids every single night. But my favorite growing up, and I don't have this one for my kids, so now I have to go get it, The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Munsch.
That's right.
And
that was classic.
The plot of it is, you know, there's a princess and she has, I think they're engaged, Ronald and the prince, and they're supposed to be married, and then the dragon steals Ronald. So the dragon burnt everything down. All she had left was a paper bag. So she put it on, she went and she rescued Ronald, and then after she rescued him, he looked at her and says, "Come back when you look like a princess," because he didn't like what she was wearing. So she actually was like, huh, too bad for you. And she danced off into the sunlight, the sunset, being like, I don't need you. This is how I look. It's just such a good book with such a good message.
Yeah.
And it's so cute that I just love it so much. And now I have to remind myself to get it for my kids.
Yeah, you have to go find that.
It's a good one.
And you know, Robert Munsch, apparently, a lot of his stories were based on real life experiences. He would live with families and go, oh, there you go. Okay,
that's a
okay.
great
And then he'd just use that material, write it down. He's so prolific, and I remember that. That was a great story, Melissa. Okay, I've got one.
Oh, yeah. I feel like you have so many.
It's
hard for you to narrow it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember when my daughter was 5 years old, and the kindergarten class said, okay, parents, you got to come in, bring a book, and read it to the class. Bring, you know, one of your favorite children's books. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be so good. Mind you, this is Montreal, Quebec, right? So she's in French school, and I have this favorite book called by Bertrand Gauthier, and it's called Zunic et le Wawan Zonzon. So it's the adventures of Zunic. It's this kid. He's amazing, so precocious. And the story is like, you know, he's got a great imagination. So he's in daycare, and they tell a story, and then the teacher asks, like, what was the problem? What happened? And then Zunic came up with an idea. He said, well, there was a problem that Wawan Zonzon, which was like just like a made-up dragon, was sad and was crying. And he defended his thesis to the very end. It was just such a great story, and it's in French, and it was so fun. Like, when I remember reading it being so animated, and that was when your kid's young enough, they're not embarrassed. They're like, go, mama, go. And it was really, really, really cool. So that's mine. Sorry, Will, I went really long on that.
That's okay, because clearly the passion is there, and I feel like you need to tell that story.
Yes. It's a good story. I'm telling you, Bertrand Gauthier, if you guys look it up, Zunic. It's really, really fun series.
So we'll be hearing from you later on the show. We are asking, what is your favorite children's book? And do you have as much passion as Rosie does? If you do, let us know. Send us your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. We'll be right back.
Good morning, 6:30 on the nose. Welcome. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And things are starting to warm up outside, and it looks like it's here to stay for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we have a nice week of warmer conditions on the way.
All right, can't wait to have that, but we're going to take a look at our news headlines, and we have fury in Minneapolis this morning after a woman was shot dead by an immigration and customs enforcement officer.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Thousands of people turned up for the vigil to remember the 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents were in the city executing on immigration crackdown. And a warning to viewers, the video in this story is disturbing. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that the woman was shot in her vehicle, alleging that she tried to run over law enforcement officers.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Local leaders and an angry community say that that's not true, now demanding that ICE leave their community. This shooting took place just 4 blocks from where George Floyd died back in 2020.
Turning now to dramatic video capturing the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Traverse Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say 2 vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it can be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time. The former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the Holocaust War Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Aspenleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months of custody. In July, Aspenleader pleaded guilty to splashing paint and writing the words "Feed me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people.
OC Transpo has pulled some of its new paratransport buses off the road after the heat stopped working. This was occurring within the last season. The new 7-meter minibuses were only put into service in June, but already users were raising concerns. OC Transpo says 5 out of the 41 new buses experienced mechanical defects after entering service, and these issues are not systemic across the fleet. As soon as heating concerns were identified, the vehicles were removed from service.
When are they going to be fixed? Are they going to be fixed for this winter? Or are we going to struggle all winter having to wear 2 coats or whatever, mitts and hats in the bus? You know, if this was a conventional service, there would be public outcry.
Paratransport users say that these new buses have other issues, including seatbelts that jam and not enough room for the ramp to get inside.
The high-profile attorney representing Rob Reiner's son has resigned, but is insisting Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. He asked to be replaced by a public defender today. The judge approved that request and delayed Nick Reiner's arraignment. He has been held without bail since his parents were found stabbed to death in their LA home 3 weeks ago. The arraignment is now set for February 23rd.
Hospitals in our region continue to be inundated with influenza cases, and the Ottawa Hospital has been forced to start using some unconventional spaces for temporary overflow. The old ambulance bay, unofficially called the garage at the Ottawa General Hospital, is being utilized with space for up to 20 patients while demand remains high at the hospital. It appears that things are starting to stabilize.
Right now, I'm seeing a bit of a downturn. However, that's not to say that we're not out of the influenza season.
Dr. Paul adds in recent weeks, after messaging that the flu is particularly hard on children, health officials in Eastern Ontario are seeing an almost 2-fold increase in kids getting the flu shot.
A man in Michigan spent months planning a romantic proposal to his girlfriend, but it didn't go exactly as planned.
Oh, no. Trevor Van Camp got down on one knee on the Sky Bridge at Boyne Mountain, but he dropped the ring. It went through a grate on the bridge and fell more than 100 feet to the snowy ground below. He says his hands were shaking because he's afraid of heights.
Oh, no. They spent more than 2 hours looking for it, but couldn't find it. But thankfully, a snowmaking supervisor stepped up to help. He used a metal detector and eventually found the ring.
Oh my goodness, my heart. Oh.
You knew watching it too, like even before, like as you're reading the story, you're like, I know exactly where this is headed.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they were able to find it.
And then he'd be really shaking after that, right? Like he probably went from a little shaking to like, oh my goodness, I just lost. And those rings are not cheap.
Yeah, there's a beautiful ring.
Yeah, stunning.
That is an unforgettable
proposal.
Yeah, I'll never forget it now.
And now it's gone viral as well.
There you go.
It's like that proposal that the whole world knows now.
Yes, exactly. Our forecast today, it's going to be a much milder day on the way for us here in the city and throughout the Ottawa area. So we will see a bit of cloud conditions this morning, but then sunny and mild into the afternoon. This weekend, it's going to be a wintry mix. We're expecting some rain, some snow, a little mixture of everything, but temps will stay mild over the next week. Right now, we're sitting at 1 and there's no wind chill anymore, so it actually feels like 1 outside. So it is very mild as you head outdoors, and it's similar across the region. 1 in Kingston, Brockville, along the Seaway, 0 Montreal, 2 currently out in Trenton. In our skies, again, we will see some clouds this morning, but not to worry. By 9 o'clock, those clouds will shift through, and we will get to see lots of sunshine in the forecast for today. A beautiful sunny day for your Thursday. Tomorrow, looking quite the opposite. We're looking at cloudier conditions tomorrow. Could see some sunshine early on in the day, but then we're expecting more wet weather. So rain on the way for your Friday, and we could see quite a bit. We could see anywhere from 5 up to 10 millimeters of rain throughout the day on Friday. It will kind of continue to be soggy and through your overnight conditions. And then as we head into Saturday, we're actually going to see the rain shift to snow because temperatures will be back down below that freezing mark. It could be wet snow at this point. It's still kind of too early to tell, but we could see even upwards of 5 to 10 centimeters of snow added to the 5 to 10 millimeters of rain on Friday. Temperatures today warm and lots of sunshine. Look at this, 2 degrees throughout most of the region. Cornwall and Brockville sitting at 3, same within Kingston, Trenton for today. Lots of sunshine across the region as well. 2 in the Valley, 2 in Montreal, Mont-Tremblant, a little bit cloudier. They could see some snow in through the day ahead. So temperatures still very mild over the next week. 2 for today, lots of sunshine. -3 is the overnight low. 6 degrees for tomorrow. And again, we're expecting all that rain melting away some of the snow, unfortunately. So not great conditions for the Rideau Canal as we head into Friday. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain expected for tomorrow, but we could see some snow on Saturday. We know the ski hills will embrace this, and some great almost spring skiing weather as we head into the weekend. It will be quite mild. Some flurries as we head into Sunday. Then next week, temperatures still above seasonal.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
On your roads this morning, no major issues to report. Volume starting to build slightly right now. If you're heading eastbound on the 417, you know where the slowdown spots are. Richmond and through Pinecrest, it is a little bit heavier. The good news is we are collision free.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
Well, coming up next in Your Morning Ottawa, CTV's Scott Hurst joins us from our national newsroom to bring us the latest on the shooting in Minneapolis that has sparked outrage across the U.S. That is going to come up just after the break. We're taking a peek outside through our sky cam, and it is feeling mild today. Enjoy it while it's here during these winter months. Stay with us, everyone, and happy Thursday. Welcome back, everybody. Here are the big stories that we're following today on Your Morning Ottawa. Fury in Minnesota after an ICE agent shoots and kills a 37-year-old woman during a raid, with the entire scene caught on video. And dramatic video in Gatineau of a car driving over a bridge and then landing on the ice. Emergency crews say that the driver did not appear to be injured. And the former city employee who vandalized the National Holocaust Monument will not be serving any more time behind bars. The judge handing down a suspended sentence. Let's take a look what the next couple of days have in store, because it's a little warm out there, Melissa.
Very mild conditions today, which will continue in through your weekend forecast. A high of 2 degrees for today, nice and sunny for your Thursday. We will see an overnight low dropping to -3. Tomorrow, it's looking a little bit wet. We could see some sunshine in the morning. Rain into the afternoon. We could see 5 up to 10 millimeters of rain in the forecast. As we head into Saturday, a little bit colder below that freezing mark with a high of -1. And we could see a little bit of rain in the morning, some wet snow. We could see upwards of 5 to 10 centimeters. On your roads this morning, for those of you who use transit this morning, there is a switch issue on line 2. Train service is not running between Dow's Lake and Carleton. R2 bus service is available between Baysview and Carleton this morning.
Returning to our top story this morning, we are following the latest on the killing of a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. Tensions are high in the city after an ICE agent fatally shot the woman, identified as Renee Nicole Macklin Good. Let's bring in CTV's Scott Hurst for the latest. Good morning to you, Scott. Now, reaction to this shooting has been swift and blunt at times from state and local officials. What's their response to the shooting?
Good morning, Rosie. Demonstrations were held overnight in several U.S. cities after the shooting by an immigration officer in Minneapolis. Also clashes between police and protesters in the city, but vigils through the night in several cities, including Minneapolis, remained mostly peaceful. However, the city of Minneapolis remains on edge today amid dueling accounts of what led to the gunfire. And we should point out and give a warning to our viewers that some of what you are about to see may be upsetting. Now, there is ongoing concern for public safety in Minneapolis, the city where the shooting took place, to the point where Minneapolis public schools have gone so far as to cancel classes the rest of the week. Now, the shooting has sparked anger over ongoing ICE raids throughout the United States by the Trump administration. The mayor of Minneapolis and the governor not holding back their messages to immigration officials.
I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
The woman killed has been identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a mother and U.S. citizen. There are several videos that capture a part of the interaction with immigration agents, but what took place before the video remains unclear, and that will be part of the ongoing investigation. Now, adding to the tension in the city, to help kind of put this into context for viewers, this shooting happened in the same city, several blocks from where George Floyd was killed by police in 2020, Rosie.
So, Scott, you just showed us city and state reaction to the shooting. What about reaction from the Trump administration?
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and U.S. President Donald Trump have been quick to defend the actions of the ICE operation, saying the immigration officer was justified. ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown when a woman, they say, weaponized her vehicle to attack officers. Kristi Noem called it an act of domestic terrorism against the ICE officers, saying the driver attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle, and that officers acted quickly and decisively. You see the statement here on social media from U.S. President Donald Trump to defend the ICE operation in the city and the action of the officers being justified. The Department of Homeland Security says it has deployed more than 2,000 officers to the area in what it says is the largest immigration enforcement operation that it has, the operation that has taken place over the last couple of months since it has ramped up these operations throughout the city. Now, state and local officials are demanding, as you heard from the mayor and the governor, that they leave the city and the state, but Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem at this point is saying agents are not going anywhere, Rosie.
CTV News correspondent Scott Hurst. Scott, thank you.
Thanks, Rosie.
All right, today on Your Morning Ottawa, we asked, what is your favorite children's book? We had a few of our own, but we want to hear from you.
Okay, Richard says my favorite book is Obelix and Asterix. It's good for adults as well. I hear you on that one, Richard.
Phyllis says my all-time favorite has to be Robert Munch. I love you forever. I could never get through that book without crying. Phyllis, I am with you on that. That's the reason why I didn't pick it as my favorite, is because I can never read it still to this day without bawling my eyes.
Even just the title, like you can hear the words starting to come through.
So emotional.
Joshua says, growing up, I always enjoyed Curious George, Clifford, the Big Red Dog, and obviously Robert Munch. Love the classics and letting the imagination soar.
Pamela says my favorite was The Pokey Little Puppy. Pamela, I don't know this one.
I know that one too. Yeah, it's a good one.
So many great books, right? That take you right back, and I love that we talk about that. So we'll keep that conversation going. If you've heard some books that you've enjoyed, maybe you want to share your favorite kids book, and then we have some ideas for our kids, nieces, and nephews. Have it. Let us know your thoughts. Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca.
And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, the nominees for the AFTER Awards, previously known as the SAG Awards, are here. We'll tell you who the big names are, with the Golden Globes just days away. Here's a live look at our sky cam on George Street this morning. It is a mild start to your morning, sitting at 1 degree right now. It is 6:49. time for your morning fix, and just days before the Golden Globes are handed out, we now know who the nominees are for this year's Actor Awards, formerly known as the SAG Awards.
Maybe you should have studied the rebellion text a little harder.
I need to find my daughter.
Well, then call us back.
Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another secured 7 nominations on the film side, the most in awards history. It's up for top prize, Best Ensemble, against Sinners, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, and Hamnet. The Actor Awards are considered a strong predictor of who will be up for an Oscar. TV nominations were led by Apple's The Studio, including nods for Canada's Seth Rogen and Catherine O'Hara. The awards will be handed out on March 1st.
Gotta still see that one.
Oh,
After
yeah.
this, I'm committing to it. This weekend, I'm watching the Leo movie.
Okay, yes.
Because you said it, and you said it was unreal.
Yeah, the storytelling and Leo, just to see Leo in that kind of a role too,
Different
is just
for him,
very dynamic and just a wild ride. It's a
Okay.
wild ride, that movie.
Oh, I like it. I'm pumped.
Maybe I'll try and watch it too. The board at Warner Brothers Discovery has again rejected a hostile takeover bid by Paramount Skydance, saying the $108 billion US offer amounts to a risky leverage buyout that investors should reject. So the board says Paramount's financing plan would saddle the company with $87 billion in debt once the acquisition closed, making it the largest leveraged buyout in history. Both Paramount and Netflix have been pursuing deals to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. The board's decision, meaning a deal with Netflix, remains on track. Analysts say despite the Netflix offer having a lower headline value, it presents a clearer financing structure and fewer risks than the Paramount bid. This comes as the industry group representing movie theaters in the U.S. and Canada warns it's concerned any takeover of WBD will mean fewer theatrical releases and too much power in one studio's hand. This is getting complex now.
And it's crazy because they don't want to take the risk, and they're willing to go with a bid that's almost like $30 billion less, just to not have it be as risky. So, like, the amount of money, so there must be something in those contracts that they just go, you know what, it's not worth the risk to take.
The details. It's all in the details.
Well, we got to keep the movies in the theater. So James Cameron's talked about that with Avatar, and you know, it's just like, it's such a wonderful thing to do. So hopefully, regardless of the deal, we can keep the movies going in theaters.
I agree. Well, scientists say they've found the clearest evidence yet that horned dinosaurs once lived in Europe. So they showed off some fossil fragments in Hungary. These are part of the skulls and horns that once formed the face of a living dinosaur. Horned dinosaurs were common in Asia and North America, but their existence has long been uncertain in Europe.
There you go.
Continuing to find these discoveries and look at them piece all these fossils together. It still amazes me just how, you know, these discoveries are made, because to me it just looks like rock, and the fact that they're like, oh, it's fossil. You know,
that was my exact thought. How do you know that's from like a raptor's face? Like,
right?
It's detailed work, taking your time. Yeah, that's fascinating stuff. All right, coming up in the next hour, we check in with CTV News political analyst Tom Mulcair on a busy week for Parliament Hill. Plus, the Douglas fire chief, whose parents own the Douglas, joins us after the break, and he'll talk about how the fire destroyed the building earlier this week. And if you're thinking of buying a home with friends or family, we learn about the pros and cons with Taylor Bennett from the Bennett Property Shop. That is just ahead. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We'll be right back. It's Thursday, January 8th.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Outrage in Minneapolis and across the U.S. after an ICE agent fatally shoots a 37-year-old mother.
Dramatic video captures the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau, landing on the ice below.
And what you need to know about the new recycling rules in effect across the province. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And lots of news occurring over the last 24 hours, and we're going to start with developing news out of the U.S. A woman is dead after she was shot by an immigration and customs enforcement officer in Minneapolis. The shooting was captured on camera, and a warning to our viewers, the video in this story is disturbing. The Department of Homeland Security says that ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown when a woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle to attack officers. Officials say the victim was a 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed Macklin Good was shot in her vehicle, alleging she tried to run over law enforcement officers, claiming a federal agent, fearing for his safety, opened fire. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey had strong words for the agency after the incident.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Tensions are high in the city. The shooting took place just blocks away from the scene of George Floyd's murder at the hands of police in 2020. The FBI has taken over the investigation, and the officer involved has now been released from hospital.
When the Constitution is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
And there were protests and vigils across America in the hours after the shooting, including this one you see here in New York City.
Turning now to dramatic video captured the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Devers Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say 2 vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it can be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time. The former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the National Holocaust Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Aspenleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months in custody. In July, Aspenleader pleaded guilty to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed Me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people. Here's what his lawyer had to say after sentencing.
I mean, the judge issued an incredibly thoughtful, well-reasoned, and compassionate decision that I think recognized the harm that was caused by the offense, but also Mr. Aspenleader's personal circumstances.
A number of groups denouncing the judge's decision, including the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, which says the sentence does not reflect the gravity of what is indeed a hateful act and its impact on the Jewish community, not only in Ottawa, but across Canada.
New province-wide recycling rules are now in effect for your black and blue bins. Recycling is now managed by the province instead of the city, but there will be no changes to your collection day. The province has shifted the Blue Bin program to Circular Materials, a nonprofit representing the producers and products of paper and packaging materials. What can go in and out of your recycle bins now is the same for every municipality across Ontario.
At a province-wide level, probably the biggest change is we're moved to a new unified and expanded material list.
For the updated list of what can go in your recycling bins, head to our website, tvnewsottawa.ca.
The Toronto Blue Jay fan who caught the ball during George Springer's ALCS Game 7 home run is now sharing details on where that piece of baseball history ended up.
This was the scene in Toronto when George Springer helped the Jays reach the Fall Classic for the first time since 1993. Jays fan Michael Angeletti says that he was among several people reaching for the ball as it came his direction, and he basically blacked out for a few seconds upon making the snag.
He later put the ball up for auction and now says that, after fees, he netted around $30,000 from the sale.
and I'm surprised that big Jays fan, he might just want to keep that bad boy, but I guess 30 grand is pretty tempting to take too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Still incredible. And I would imagine blacking out just going like, oh, I hope I catch it. And just the feeling of the ball in your glove. You'd be like, I think it's in there.
And knowing how important like that shot was. There's so many emotions at once.
Absolutely. We do have your weather picture of the day today, and look at this. Shanna sent this amazing December sunrise picture taken at their pond.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating, just box me up.
Of course, we would love to see your weather shots as well. All you have to do is send them to us. Weathershots@ctv.ca is the email address. Again, that's weathershots@ctv.ca. Our forecast today, it's going to be a very mild day and above seasonal conditions. 2 degrees is our high. Averages around -6 degrees for this time of the year. The sun will set 4:37 p.m. So we're seeing these longer days, which is always very nice. Temperatures right now sitting at 1, so it's already mild to start your morning off. No wind chill out there to start things off. 2 in Trenton, 1 as well in Kingston, Brockville, and along the Seaway. 0 currently over along the valley. It is a little cloudy. We will see cloudier conditions once that sun gets up very shortly. We will see it rise around just after 7:30, and it will be a little bit cloudy, but don't worry, we will start to see some sunshine around 9-10 o'clock this morning. So we will see mainly sunny skies for your Thursday. Beautiful day ahead. It will be very, very mild. And then as we head into tomorrow, we're expecting some wet weather on the way. So Friday is looking, unfortunately, a little bit soggy. We're expecting rain. We could see 5 up to 10 millimeters. You could see it'll rain most of the day on Friday. Overnight is when we could see it shift to some freezing rain or some snow, and that's because temperatures will go from very warm, of course, to a little bit colder below that freezing mark. And on Saturday, we could see some snow. We could see anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. So rain for Friday, snow for Saturday. Conditions will stay mild, though, as we head into next week. Gorgeous day ahead for kids heading out to the school bus. 2 degrees later on this afternoon. We will see that sunshine throughout your day ahead. And temperatures kind of all over the place, but on the milder side this week. It will be above seasonal right through until next week. 2 for today, -3 is the overnight low, so even staying fairly warm overnight. 6 degrees for tomorrow, a soggy day for Friday. We could see more snow on the way as we head into Saturday with a high of -1. Conditions will be a little bit colder Sunday through Monday, but still above seasonal, so still quite mild compared to what we've seen last week. -2 is the high for Sunday, -4 on Monday, and we could see a few scattered flurries in through the weekend and next.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business.
Collision free still on your drive in, just starting to see a bit of volume now. If you're heading eastbound on the 417, it's still a little heavy. Richmond and through Pinecrest this hour. The split into downtown, if you're heading on the 417 westbound, is still looking nice and easy. No major collisions or delays.
Well, Mark Carney will be traveling to China next week, marking the first visit to the country by a Canadian Prime Minister since 2017. The two countries have had a fraught relationship in recent years, highlighted by the detention of Michael Korvig and Michael Spavor. CTV News political analyst Tom Mulcair is here to break it all down with us and the significance of this meeting. Good morning to you, Tom. There, good morning to you, Tom. We got you back there. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Will.
There is so much going on across Canada and across the world, so there's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about today. And I want to start with Mark Carney heading to China next week. What is the significance of that meeting with the Chinese president?
Well, this is the culmination of 6 months of hard work by Carney looking to establish better trading relationships outside of our U.S.-Canada trading relationship, which is, of course, the biggest one we have, but it's fraught right now. Trump has been going after us with tariffs, hurting our economy intentionally. He's also said that the renegotiation of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade deal is anything but a done deal in advance. So we have to start doing exactly what Carney's been doing, talking to the Europeans, going to Great Britain, talking to markets, saying we've got a lot of big infrastructure projects coming in Canada, get on board. Talking with Danielle Smith of Alberta, saying, no, we're going to really be able to use our natural resources, but we're going to do it responsibly. We'll put in place programs, for example, for carbon capture and storage. but we're going to work with the world. We're going to start exporting more. We're going to start using those resources to keep our gross national product at the level that it's at, because otherwise we can't do things like have a program where we share wealth across the country, what we call equalization payments. So Carney's been on that since day one. He's understood exactly what he's dealing with in dealing with Trump. The advantage of Mark Carney, of course, is his deep experience on the world stage. When he walks into a room, well, everybody knows him. And he's given a lot of attention every time he speaks. So he's had the time to get into his new job very well. He does travel more than you would normally see a prime minister do, but it's necessary. So going to China, working with the Chinese doesn't mean that we have to agree with everything that China does. That's not the way the world works. It's not the way trade works. And we're going to sit down and we're going to start making the type of deal that will lead to greater exports. You know, we talk about Venezuela. Some people opined over the weekend that Canada was going to suffer because of Trump's invasion of Venezuela. This just in, nothing's been repaired or improved in Venezuela. The Chinese were getting about 2/3 of the oil that came out of Venezuela. They're going to be looking for other sources. And Canada could easily be that source. So there is opportunity there. There's a lot of work that can be done between Canada and China. One of the things I'll be watching, Will, is whether or not we remove the 100% tariffs that we slapped on Chinese electric vehicles to please the Americans. Pleasing the Americans got us precisely nothing, except the fact that we have to pay twice as much for an electric vehicle in Canada. Then neither of them are made here. And why would we continue to please the Americans? Because all that got us was a lot of grief. It got us huge tariffs on Canadian canola and other products. We've hurt our agricultural sector to please the Americans. I think that that's the type of thing that Carney should be correcting in quick order.
Yeah, and you know, and again, the significance of that not meeting with the Chinese president in the last 8 years. So Mark Carney, obviously on top of it. I want to talk quickly before we let you go about Chrystia Freeland, because she's going to be resigning as the MP to become an economic advisor to Ukraine. What do you make of this decision?
It was messy, unnecessarily messy. And Chrystia Freeland has given such sterling service to Canada. She deserves to be thanked for that service. But her time in office ended in a fishtail and her in a ditch. She just doggedly decided she was going to be able to stay on, to use her term from her announcement, for weeks. We didn't know how many weeks, but she wanted to stay on for weeks after having been named and accepted to be named an advisor to a foreign country. We went through a very detailed analysis in a commission of inquiry with Madam Justice Hogue. We went through a detailed analysis of foreign involvement in Canadian politics. It was an impossible situation she had put herself in. It's not because she had quit the position that Carney had given her on Ukraine that she could somehow start working for Ukraine and draw her MP's salary and continue accumulating her MP's pension. It just didn't make any sense. So she came to that realization, which is good, a little bit late, and it hurt her. It hurt her image. It hurt the memory of her. And again, she was the deputy prime minister for a number of years. She was the finance minister. She's done a lot for the country. She deserves to be thanked for that. But I don't know, somehow her judgment just failed her on this issue at the end. Everybody, you know, like the Globe and Mail in a lead editorial yesterday was superb. I mean, nobody was trying to go personally at her, but it was like, please look at the facts. You can't keep a job for a foreign country and remain as an MP. Certainly not after what we've been through.
Yeah, I think, Tom, you used a great word, messy, you know, with that whole situation. Yeah. Lots going on across the country. Really appreciate your time. CTV News political analyst Tom Mulcair. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to be with you, Will.
Coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, more than 100 years of history and memories gone up in flames after the building once known as the Douglas Tavern was destroyed by a fire this week. We will speak to the fire chief in Douglas, whose parents once owned the building. That is just ahead. Plus, why it's important to make sure your will is up to date. We will hear from a legal expert on this coming up next. Our guest is standing by in the Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
Welcome back. It's a new year and it's a new time to possibly get your will together. In fact, January is a perfect time to do so. And I'm joined by Tim Hewson. He's CEO of Legal Wills. And we're talking about the importance of putting your will together and why January is a good time to do so. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Rosie.
Good morning, Tim. So, okay. Why is January a great time to get your estate, your affairs in order in the form of a will?
So primarily because it's something that most people procrastinate on.
Yeah.
Most people put it off. They know it's important. I don't think many people don't understand the importance of a will, but they don't get it done because they put it off and they put it off and they put it off. So we found, we've been doing this for over 20 years now, and we found that the first week of January is when people do suddenly get it checked off their to-do list. And there's a couple of main reasons. Firstly, New Year's resolutions.
Right, okay.
This is the year I'm gonna finally get my will done. So people, absolutely, they do that. Another thing that happens is that a lot of people over Christmas, they meet as families. And those discussions come up about, did you hear about Uncle Bill died? Didn't have a will. What a nightmare that was. Or even, Mom, Dad, have you thought about writing your will? Like, if you don't have a will, us as adult children, we're gonna have a lot of a mess to deal with. So those conversations can come up and they roll into January and people say, you know what, we had that conversation. I've got to get it done now.
What are some of the misconceptions about putting together a will?
About putting together the will, I think the main misconceptions are that it's expensive.
Yes.
And it's time consuming, and you have to do all kinds of prep work ahead of actually getting it done. And yes, they are all misconceptions. It doesn't need to be expensive, and it doesn't need to be time consuming.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be time consuming, it doesn't have to be expensive. What about here in Canada? What are some of the details that we need to know when getting our will prepared?
So the main things specific to Canada are every province is a little bit different.
Okay.
There are provincial laws, especially in Quebec, wildly different. So if people are in Quebec, be aware that there's very specific rules for Quebec that don't apply to any other province in Canada, and all of the other provinces are a little bit different. But also in Canada, be aware that there are things like common law states, common law marriages, where without a will, you can really leave your common law partner with a real mess. So there are certain things about the law and how it works in Canada that are worth keeping in mind if you're considering, no, I think I'll die without a will.
Yes.
If that's your decision,
that's what you're thinking.
That's a terrible idea anywhere, but in Canada particularly.
Okay, tell me this. You've got a will, you were responsible, you put a will together 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Do you need to update it?
There are a number of reasons why you might want to update it. Certainly if there's a change in your circumstances, if you've had a child, you've got married, you've moved provinces, like any of these things, you might want to think, okay, does my will still reflect my wishes? But also anybody named in the will. So you may have named a guardian for your children who might no longer be appropriate, or an executor who may be taken ill, or they might not be the person. So think about people who are named in the will as well. But also think about your own things that have happened in your life, like maybe a charity has become important in your life.
Put that in there.
And you think, you know what, I want to recognize the work of that charity in my will. So that's another reason why.
Tim Hewson, CEO of Legal Wills. Fascinating discussion. January is the month. Get your will done so you can get things in order. Thank you so much for coming by.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Tim. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Melissa.
A cornerstone of the Ottawa Valley gone after the building once known as the Douglas Tavern went up in flames Monday night. It was once the hub of the community, known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations, owned and operated for decades by the McHale family. Douglas's fire chief, Bill McHale, watched his childhood home and family business go up in smoke. And he joins us now to tell us more about the aftermath of the fire. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning, Melissa.
First of all, take us back to that call on Monday night. What was the feelings that went through your mind when you got this phone call?
I can't say those words on television. My original thought was my heart dropped. We had been in the building previous hours before that. The owners had called. There was a smell in the building, and we couldn't we couldn't figure out what it was. It was more of a bleach, kind of a distinct smell that we were in there with our thermal imaging cameras and our multi-gas meters, but we couldn't figure out what it was. So we deemed it unsuspicious at that time, and 4 hours later, we're in the building fighting a fire.
Wow, unbelievable. Tell us how the community has been feeling as well.
It's almost like we're treating it as a death. The amount of support I have got myself to my phone, it's almost like a sympathy card, but there's lots of accolades going around too. Our crew, as much as it's complete devastation, the firefighters that were on scene worked feverishly all night to try and keep this building, and it just seemed that we couldn't get ahead of it. Every time that we thought we had a fire out, another fire would pop up. We were fighting a fire in amongst three different roof levels, and each time we couldn't get to where the fire was until we started to take the roof off with another piece of equipment, and at that point we realized how big a spread we had to deal with.
We saw some video of your iconic St. Patrick's Day party. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this tavern means to you?
It meant everything to us. It was our home for starters, and then it was almost like a home away from home for so many people. When any of my family came home, my Aunt Bev from British Columbia, or even just my aunts and uncles from Ottawa, when they came, they stayed. Everybody stayed at Terry and Evelyn's or the hotel. And when we did open the doors, 97% of the people coming through the door we knew, and we knew them by name.
Wow.
The introduction to the show Cheers is a lot like the Douglas Tavern, where you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Let's talk a little bit about cleanup efforts. You mentioned the community really coming together and rallying behind you guys.
Yes. I don't think I've ever seen as much food in our fire hall as what was there on Monday afternoon into the evening. The community they've come out. I know there's going to be some naysayers and some armchair quarterbacks out there about the way things went down. I hope everybody stands behind Dan and Amanda as much as they're standing behind myself and our fire department. They have lost everything. They are coming out of there with literally the clothes on their backs and their pets. And when all is said and done, there was no life lost. Nobody was hurt. The interagency deployment between fire, police, paramedics, our mutual aid system, everything, as much as the fire didn't get put out, everything else worked accordingly.
You mentioned earlier that you guys were there hours before this fire broke out and there was smells of bleach. At this point, do you have any causes or known causes of what caused the actual fire?
We don't. I was in talks with the Ontario Fire Marshal's office, and they're deeming it an unsuspicious fire, as are we. There's not enough left to do an investigation. It boils down to likely either an electrical or a flue fire. And again, it's total speculation. That's all that can be.
Well, thank you so much, Bill, for joining us today. We're thinking of you guys at this time.
And thank you. And as my father would always say on his parting words, keep the faith.
Absolutely. Well, coming up here on Your Morning Ottawa, have you ever considered buying a home with friends or relatives? It can be a great way to get into the expensive housing market, but it can also be a little bit dangerous if you aren't careful. Taylor Bennett from the Bennett Property Shop stops by next to tell us more details on what you should consider. He's standing by right there at our Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street this morning. And yes, it is a mild start to your morning. Temperatures already sitting at 1 degree with some sunshine into the afternoon. Good morning, Ottawa. It is 7:27.
For starting your day with us. I'm Rosie Edden.
I'm Will Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And we're going to begin across the border this morning. There's fury in Minneapolis this morning after a woman was shot dead by an immigration and customs enforcement officer.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Thousands of people turned up for the vigil to remember the 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown, and a warning to viewers, this video is disturbing.
No! No! Oh my God!
The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that the woman was shot in her vehicle, alleging that she tried to run over law enforcement officers.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Local leaders and an angry community say that that's not true. Now they're demanding that ICE leave their community. This shooting took place just 4 blocks from where George Floyd died in 2020.
Turning now to dramatic video capturing the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Traverse Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say 2 vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it could be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time. Former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the Holocaust War Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Asplinleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months of custody. In July, Asplinleader pleaded guilty to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed Me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people.
OC Transpo has pulled some of its new Paratranspo buses off the road after the heat stopped working this winter. The new 7-meter minibuses were only put into service in June, but already users were raising concerns. OC Transpo says 5 out of the 41 new buses experienced mechanical defects after entering service, and these issues are not systemic across the fleet. As soon as heating concerns were identified, the vehicles were removed from service.
When are they going to be fixed? Are they going to be fixed for this winter? Or are we going to struggle all winter having to wear 2 coats or whatever, mitts and hats in the bus? You know, if this was a conventional service, there would be public outcry.
Paratranspo users say that these new buses have other issues, including seatbelts that jam and not enough room on the ramp to get inside.
The high-profile attorney representing Rob Reiner's son has resigned, but is insisting Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. He asked to be replaced by a public defender yesterday. The judge approved that request and delayed Nick Reiner's arraignment. He has been held without bail since his parents were found stabbed to death in their LA home 3 weeks ago. The arraignment is now set for February 23rd. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be heading to China next week. The visit will take place from January 13th to the 17th. The Prime Minister's office says the meeting is meant to elevate engagement on trade, energy, agriculture, and international security. It will mark the first visit to China by a Canadian Prime Minister since 2017.
Hospitals in our region continue to be inundated with influenza cases, and the Ottawa Hospital has been forced to start using some unconventional spaces for temporary overflow. The old ambulance bay, unofficially called the garage at the Ottawa General Hospital, is being utilized with space for up to 20 patients. While demand is high at the hospital, it appears that things are starting to stabilize.
Right now, I'm seeing a bit of a downturn. However, that's not to say that we're not out of the influenza season.
Dr. Paul adds, in recent weeks, after messaging that the flu is particularly hard on children, health officials in Eastern Ontario are seeing an almost 2-fold increase in kids getting the flu shot.
The grand prize winner of Chio's Dream of a Lifetime got a first look at her new home.
Welcome to your new home.
Amy Katie Savard stepped into her new home for the first time. She's the winner of this year's grand prize in the CHIO Dream of a Lifetime lottery, a package worth $3.7 million, which also includes cash, a Mercedes SUV, groceries, and more.
And that great basement with a couch big enough to fit, I don't know, 16 people over for a sleepover. If you bought a ticket for the CHIO Dream of a Lifetime lottery, you may still be a winner. Winning numbers from many other prizes can be found at dreamofalifetime.ca.
We got a little glimpse of that couch.
There it is in there, and it is comfy.
Oh,
Hard to
yeah.
like if you go way back, you got to like kind of wiggle your way to get back to the front.
Right, it's that big.
But when you go back to the corner, you're like there for the long haul.
You're not
That's
leaving.
a full movie at least.
love that.
Bag of popcorn in the back.
Oh
You're all set to go.
Yeah, halfway through eating it, fall asleep. There you go. That's the life.
It's a great home.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our forecast today, it's a great day to get outside. It's going to be mild and it will be nice and sunny into the afternoon today. And then as we head into the end of the work week and the weekend, we're expecting some rain mixed in with some snow. So a little mixture of everything in the forecast for us. Mild throughout the next week. We are already sitting at 1 here in the city. No wind chill. And the fact for this morning, it's 1 across Kingston, Brockville, the Seaway, 0 currently in Montreal, same with out in the valley. Still a little cloudy. The sun is up right now and it will be a little bit cloudy over the next few hours. However, the good news is those clouds will push through and we will get to see sunshine starting around 9-10 o'clock this morning. So a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day ahead. A gorgeous day. It will be quite mild. Get outside, enjoy it because tomorrow is looking quite soggy. We are expecting rain in the forecast tomorrow throughout most of the day. We could see upwards of 5 to 10 millimeters of rain starting in the morning, continuing into your evening hours. So soggy for Friday. And then as we head into Saturday, we are expecting some snow. So we could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow Saturday in through Sunday. So some wintry mix weather on the way. We will see rain, snow, but it will stay mild today right through until next week. Daytime highs today of 2 degrees. So not warming up too much from where we're sitting right now, but yes, above seasonal conditions in through the afternoon for today, and similar temps across the region. 2 for the Valley, Bancroft, Kemptville, 3 for Brockville, Cornwall, same along Kingston, Trenton area. Heading over to Kitigan, Zibi, also sitting at 2. 0 is the high in Mont-Tremblant. 2 is also the high in Montreal and Gatineau. Over the next couple of days, definitely mild conditions, especially as we head into tomorrow. Even tonight, overnight, not so bad, dropping to -3. 6 for tomorrow, and again, a soggy Friday forecast, 5 to 10 millimeters of rain in the forecast for us, but very, very mild. Overnight dropping to -3. The weekend, still above seasonal, but a little bit below that freezing mark, -1 for Saturday. We're expecting some snow, more flurries for Sunday with a high of -2.
All right, let's take a look at the roads on this hour. On your Thursday morning commute, no accidents to report at this time, and roads are looking much better, especially on the highways this time compared to yesterday. What we do have is a buildup on the 417 eastbound. If you're heading downtown and starting to see those slowdowns, and with the temperature starting to rise above the freezing mark, that means it's about to get messy. So windshield washer fluid is a must for your commute. Anything changes throughout the morning, we'll be sure to let you know.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
With higher home prices and interest rates, more Canadians are teaming up with friends or relatives to buy a home. It can help start a dream or be a nightmare if you don't understand the risks before you sign on the dotted line. Here's with more is Taylor Bennett from the Bennett Property Shop. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melissa.
Okay, let's talk about this. Is this a trend that we're starting to see a lot more of?
Yeah, we are. In terms of getting into the market, a lot of people that are looking to maybe buy their first investment property want to minimize risks, or maybe they can't quite afford enough on their own. So it's a great way to team up with somebody to get that first investment property. It doesn't have to be an investment property. That's typically what you do with you're buying a property with a friend or a family on there. The nice thing is, entry-level homes for investments typically aren't the best thing, but if you can move up the property ladder a couple of notches with a friend that can help you finance it, you can start getting multiplexes or duplexes, things like that make a much more fruitful investment.
All right, let's talk about why we're seeing more people buying together.
Yeah, well, of course, in terms of approval right now, it's quite difficult. When you do buy an investment property, you have to put at least 20% down, which can be challenging for some people on their own, of course, but if they can team up with a friend or family member, they can kind of alleviate that, of course. And as I mentioned, you can start entering into a different category of the investments. You can start buying larger properties, multiplex units, duplexes, triplexes, things like that, where you can start minimizing the risk, bringing in more monthly income. So you can start kind of your venture a little bit faster if you do team up with somebody.
Okay, great advice. Up next, you say the mortgage reality.
Yes, so getting pre-approved, and this is the big thing when you're buying a property on it, each of you are 100% responsible for the mortgage. So let's let's just say you and your friend buy a property together, you're making all the payments. Unfortunately, they can't for whatever reason. The bank's going to come after you. Your credit's both going to take a hit just because only one of you have been having an issue. It's going to affect both of you. So be very aware of that. Make sure that, we'll talk a little bit later, some agreements are in place to make sure what happens if one party has an issue.
Okay. Up next, we're talking about ownership structure.
Yes, and so the ownership structure, there's two main categories here in Ontario. You have joint tenants and then tenants in common. If you're joint tenants, that's typically what a married couple would be.
Okay.
If one of you happens to pass away, the other person automatically inherits the property. It's 50-50 ownership, no issue there. The tenants in common, something that you can structure it unevenly if you want. So maybe your partner's only putting in 25%, so it can be a 25-75 split on there. It's not automatically inherited. Only the portion that, if somebody passes away, only the portion of that person owned gets inherited. So it's 30% or 40%, whatever the division. It can be 50-50. It's whatever structure you need it to. Probably something a little bit better if, again, if there's an imbalance in terms of what kind of investments each party's putting into the property.
Okay, that's some good advice. Up next, you said, who pays for what?
Yes, and so this is an agreement that you're going to have to come to with yourselves. Right. And maybe there's a third party or fourth party involved, and who's paying for what, whether it be property taxes, maintenance of the property, mortgage payments, property, utilities, things like that. You want to make sure who's going to be paying for it. Of course, the tenant might be taking on some of those payments as well. But what you want to have before you enter into this endeavor, get it in writing, have these conversations ahead of time, because you don't want to have these conversations if there's an issue happening on the ongoing. It's kind of like a divorce in many cases. You want to have those conversations when everything's sunny and nice, and then if things happen to hit a stormy area, you've already had that conversation.
All right. And last but not least, the what ifs.
Yes.
The conversation that most people avoid.
Yes, this is the big one. So, of course, you talk about expenses and things like that going on there, but what if somebody wants to sell the property a little bit earlier than you plan to? What if somebody has an issue? Maybe they've ended up getting laid off at their job and they can't make these payments anymore. There's a lot of what ifs that you want to figure out. And this is, again, where you want to be drafting a kind of a pre-investment contract, if you will. This is where you want to speak to your lawyer, get that structured, and have that agreed upon. And, hey, because, things are great right now, but fast forward a couple of years, things can dramatically change. Maybe you're starting a family and you want to get your funds out and move on to something else. Have that conversation ahead of time. How much is going to be buying out on each side? Again, do it when it's a little bit sunnier times, so that if it's stormier times, you've already had that tough conversation.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and breaking this all down for us. And don't forget, you can listen to the Bennett Real Estate and Wealth Show with Marnie Bennett on Saturdays at 1 p.m. on 580 CFRA.
Coming up, are we talking warm colors or cool colors? Interior stylist Leanne Lacroix shares some of the top design trends for 2026. There she is. All right, we'll see you coming up in just a little bit. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Starting off today, much milder than we've experienced over the last couple of weeks. We're in for a very mild and yet a little messy day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thinking about making some design changes in 2026? Well, interior stylist Leanne Lacroix joins us with the top home design trends for 2026 and easy ways to elevate your space and interiors and exterior. Good morning
Absolutely.
to you.
Good morning, Rosie.
Good morning to you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're doing it in the new year. You know, a lot of folks are like, okay, fresh start.
Yeah.
Let's refresh the interior. Let's update things. And I'm wondering, what's happening in terms of interior design? Like what's in, what's out? Are we talking about warm neutrals, and are we giving that an upgrade?
Well, you know, what's happening is design is really shifting towards warmth and comfort. So you've got to think about your layered neutrals, so soft beiges, warm creams, taupes, those mushroom colors. That is what's going to really dominate our space and make it inviting. It's warm, it's welcoming. So gone is that very cool palette. And that's why, you know, these colors are so important, because it's going to work with the colors that we already have.
Okay, Leanne, you're going to give us an example here? Okay.
So gray has been, you know, around for, we're talking 25 years, 30 years. It's been, I've been using it for a long time. I'm happy to see the shift. So this is where you're going to see how we're going to incorporate in design the more natural elements. So there's going to be wood, there's stone, the warmer tones of wood that we thought would never come back are huge. So you're going to see this, yes. And it really warms up those cooler blue-based grays.
Okay.
So when you're adding the stone, you're adding the wood, the warmer, creamier beiges, it really brings it more into what is trending now.
Leanne, let's go to some pictures here, because next up we're going to talk about, you know, texture over perfection.
Yes.
Is that that we can talk about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because that's one of the things that is happening in the trends, is that we're looking for something that's a little bit more organic. So that's where you're seeing a lot of layered textures.
I like that.
So we're going from that perfect showroom look to something that's inviting, timeless. So layering your natural elements with your neutrals, and then you bring in that light. See, this is where we're going. It's more muddied. It's more of a gray base.
Yes, okay.
Right? So it's really, it encourages you to want to walk into a room. You see, even though we have your neutrals and your grays, by adding those earthy tones like your terracottas, your greens, it really wants you to be in that room sort of just relaxing. This is just an example if you have a gray headboard already. Now, by adding, these other, there you go. So you don't have to get rid of your gray headboard. You know, just don't jump on those trends of, oh, I got to change everything. And this is all about lighting. So, well, you know, lighting is one of the things that I always say, if you want to spend money wisely, an inexpensive upgrade is lighting. So group your lighting, have layered lighting, have, you know, even if you add sconces, it will elevate your space like that instantly. This is all about outdoor spaces. So I am so happy, Rosie, to be talking about outdoor spaces. Oh, we've made it. But this is what we're doing. We're decorating our outdoor spaces like it's our indoor. So the same elements apply. So we're having comfy furniture, we're having outdoor carpeting, we're having sconces, we're having covered areas that we can sit and enjoy and entertain. There's glass walls, there's anything that you can think of that you're going to have outside, inside is going to come outside, and it's going to extend the time that we have to spend outside. So it's not just going to be summer, it's going to be fall, and then you're going to add fireplaces and heaters and all these things just to get you to be outside.
I love it how we're taking the coolness of gray, but adding some warmth to it.
Absolutely.
For the new year.
Absolutely.
Leanne, thank you so much for
you
stopping by.
You are very
really
welcome.
Appreciate it. We love the different samples. Loving that, Leanne.
Great. It's great. Thank you.
All right. Melissa, over to you.
Well, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll hear from an award-winning musician and children's book author, Justin J. Morris Gunderson. His new book, Little Ray in the Brighter Days, teaches kids about hope, kindness, and resilience. That and so much more still to come here on Your Morning Ottawa. We want to remind you that if you have a milestone celebrated with us, we'd love to share your birthday announcements or wedding anniversaries. All you have to do, send your birthday announcements for kids turning 13 years old or younger, or for those turning 100 years or more. Wedding anniversaries as well for those celebrating 50 years or more. All you need to do, send us an email at yourmorningottawamilestones@ctv.ca, and we'll be sure to get your announcement on the air. Coming up next hour, a local children's book author joins us to tell us about his new work, teaching kids about hope, kindness, and resilience. Plus, Sobeys is helping Canadian Olympic athletes achieve their dreams. We'll tell you more about the Feed the Dream program, and we'll show you some unique ways to use up your rotisserie chicken leftovers. All that and so much more coming up on Your Morning Ottawa. Here's a live look for our sky cam this morning, and it's also a mild day. 2 degrees is the high this afternoon under a mix of sun and cloud.
It's Thursday, January 8th.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Outrage in Minneapolis and across the U.S. after an ICE agent fatally shoots a 37-year-old mother.
Dramatic video captures the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau, landing on the ice below.
And what do you need to know about the new recycling rules in effect across the province? Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning. morning. Come on in. I'm Rosie Eden.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And our top story today takes us across the border. In developing news out of the U.S., a woman is dead after she was shot by an immigration and customs enforcement officer in Minneapolis. And the shooting was captured on camera. And a warning to our viewers, the video in this story is disturbing. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown when a woman, quote, weaponized her vehicle to attack officers. Officials say the victim was a 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed Macklin Good was shot in her vehicle, alleging she tried to run over law enforcement officers, claiming a federal agent, fearing for his safety, opened fire. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey had strong words for the agency after the incident.
To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis.
Tensions in the city are high. The shooting took place just blocks away from the scene of George Floyd's murder at the hands of police in 2020. The FBI has taken over the investigation, and the officer involved has now been released from hospital.
When the Constitution is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
And there were protests and vigils across America in the hours after the shooting, including this one you see right here in New York City.
Turning now to dramatic video capturing the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Traverse Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say 2 vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it can be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time. The former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the National Holocaust Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Aspenleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months in custody. In July, Aspenleader pleaded guilty to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed Me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people. Here's what his lawyer had to say after sentencing.
I mean, the judge issued an incredibly thoughtful, well-reasoned, and compassionate decision that I think recognized the harm that was caused by the offense, but also Mr. Aspenleader's personal circumstances.
A number of groups denouncing the judge's decision, including the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs, which says the sentence does not reflect the gravity of what is indeed a hateful act and its impact on the Jewish community, not only in Ottawa, but across Canada. The federal government is being asked to provide military help for a Manitoba First Nation recovering from a power outage.
We are going to fight for our people. We're going to fight for our infrastructure.
Federal, provincial, and Indigenous officials visited Pimicikamak Cree Nation yesterday. A blackout hit the community more than a week ago. Power is back, but the damage left behind is extensive. Schools are closed, and flooding has left dozens of homes unlivable. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew joined Pimicikamak Cree Nation in asking for military help, but he stopped short of offering provincial funding.
New province-wide recycling rules are now in effect for your black and blue bins. Recycling is now managed by the province instead of the city, but there will be no changes to your collection day. The province has shifted the blue bin program to Circular Materials, a nonprofit representing the producers of paper and packaging materials. What can and can't go in your new recycling bins is now the same for every municipality across Ontario.
At a province-wide level, probably the biggest change is we're moved to a new unified and expanded material list.
For the updated list of what can go in and not in your new recycle bins, head to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
To sports now, the Ottawa Senators were hoping a trip to Utah would get them back in the win column.
And the referee towards the goal. Rebound in front, they score! Banged in front, Ridley Gray.
That was the only goal the Sens would make. The final score was 3-1 for the Mammoth. Up next is a date in Colorado against the league-leading Avalanche tonight. Puck drop is at 9.
Hugh Jackman is no stranger to legendary figures.
People speak of Robin Hood, telling stories. They're all lies.
Jackman stars in The Death of Robin Hood. The film also stars Bill Skarsgård. The story follows Robin Hood after a battle he thought would be his last.
There is no official release date just yet, but we do know it's releasing sometime in 2026.
Wow, an older Robin Hood. There you go.
I like that too. That combination of actors is really good. Skarsgård plays a really good Pennywise too from It. So I feel like the combination of those two gentlemen will be very good.
Absolutely. It looks like a great one indeed. Our forecast also looking great to get outside today.
Yeah.
A little bit milder conditions on the way for us and some sunshine. We haven't seen a lot of sunshine over the last few days, so it'll be nice to see sunny skies today. We're sitting at 1, and we're not going to warm up too much for where we're sitting, but it is already quite mild outside. 2 in Trenton currently. It is 1 currently in Kingston, same with in Montreal, 0 out in the valley. Still dealing with a little bit of clouds out there this morning. Those clouds will shift through around 9, 10 o'clock this morning, making way for all that sunshine today. So a mix of sun and cloud into your Thursday. Then tomorrow, different story. It's looking quite wet. We are expecting rain in the forecast for tomorrow. 5 up to 10 millimeters of rain in the forecast. It's kind of starting late in the morning, continuing right through to your evening hours. Overnight, we could even see some freezing rain mixed in with some snow overnight on Friday. Then Saturday, in the late part of your day, we're expecting more snow on the way. Saturday, we could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow on the way. So a bit of a messy end of the work week and through your weekend, but temperatures will stay quite warm right through until next week. 2 degrees is your high for today, so that is above average. Normal's around -6 degrees today. Lots of sunshine across the region, and you can see temperatures in those low single digits to start into your afternoon. Trenton 3, same within Kingston and Cornwall for today. So very mild conditions across the region. 2 is your daytime high in Petawawa as well as in Gatineau. Most areas getting to see some sunshine today. Areas to the northwest could see a few scattered flurries. Overnight dropping -3. 6 is the high for tomorrow. That's why we're expecting wet weather. It's going to be quite warm. 5 to 10 millimeters of rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Then 5 to 10 centimeters of snow as we head into Saturday. -1 is the high. It's mainly late in the day that we could see that snow as temperatures drop to around -3. Into Sunday, still some flurries. And then next week, temperatures still above average, but not as warm as we will see on Friday. On your roads this morning, it is still a bit of a messy drive-in. Of course, lots of splatter. You will need your washer fluid topped up for today. We're seeing collisions right now. There's one reported southbound of the 416 at Fallowfield that has the right lane closed and is causing delays. Also getting reports of a vehicle in the ditch just off the eastbound lanes of the 417 at Innes Road. Eastbound on the 417, heavy volume between Moody to Bronson. And then we're seeing slowdowns 417, 174 westbound is slow between 10th line and Montreal Road.
Well, coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, teaching kids about kindness and hope. We introduce you to a local children's book author to tell us about his newest release. He joins us just after the break. For now, we head outside through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, and a little cloudy for now, but Melissa's saying some sunshine this afternoon and a great day to be outside. Take the parkas off. It's going to be a warm one. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Today's snow report brought to you by Mont Cascade, only 20 minutes from Ottawa.
All right, friends, let's take a look at the snow report for Mont Cascade today. It has been very lovely on the ski hills. Lots of snowfall in the forecast. Now, the warm stretch continues today over the next couple of days, but still 4 of 6 lifts open through the day today. Let's take a look across the board, shall we? Calabogie Peaks, 100%. We are 3 for 3. Those are good odds. Borlage, almost there, 3 of 4. Camp Fortune has 5 of 6. And Edelweiss, we're not even halfway, but hopefully we can see some more snowfall arrive after our warm stretch ahead.
At Mont Cascade, we continue to improve your experience. latest technology snow guns, and our RFID direct-to-lift system are new this year. Come and join us.
Joining us today is award-winning musician and children's book author Justin J. Morris Gunderson. His new book, Little Ray and a Brighter Day, teaches kids about hope, kindness, and resilience. He balances music, storytelling, and giving back, bringing positivity to audiences of all ages. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on your new book. Can you kind of give us the details on what it's all about?
Yeah, I like to say it's sort of the journey of nothing to something.
Okay.
It's definitely a story about hope, resilience, overcoming struggle, maybe a little bit related to my life.
Okay, I was going to ask you what inspired this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what inspires it for me is having kids.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books to my kids. I'm also a musician and writing all the time. And, you know, if you don't use it, you lose it. So the creativity for me is always onto something, you know, different. And so I just found myself here. And who didn't grow up on Dr. Seuss, right?
Right? So after reading books to your kids, did you kind of find inspiration, like there's something missing in the books I'm reading, so I'm just going to write it myself?
Yeah, definitely. I think that story, you know what I mean? It's one of those things, too, even when I was a kid in school, you know, when you'd have speakers come in, and I always felt like, you know, there's nobody that represents me, you know, in school, of speakers coming into school. And so this made sense for me to do, you know, on the book side of things for that reason.
And what's the response been like? Because you've obviously read it to your kids.
It's been amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So the first test is if I like it.
Right.
But the second test is if my kids like it, right? And all three of my kids have been happy.
Kids are usually your strongest critics, too, right?
They
so
don't lie.
If they like, that's true. They're like so honest to a fault.
Very truthful.
Which is great.
Yes.
And so the response has been good. And how do you combine, you know, being a musician into kind of writing these books and creating these books?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes hand in hand because, you know, the style of what I want to, this is my first book, so the style of what I want to do is always, you know, putting some rhymes, some poems within the book, telling a story, a positive message, and I do that with my music as well. So it's really just, you know, what I do with music now into a book.
And would you venture off from children's books, or do you like writing for this genre?
I think right now I'm gonna stick with this genre. It seems to do well, and my 4-year-old and 2-year-old have some time to grow, so I can write a lot of books for them. My teenager, not so much.
Yeah.
So we'll see at some point. And definitely like diving into the children's music side of things as well is important to me.
So do you have inspiration to write more children's books in the future?
I
or do you
do.
have a couple more coming up?
I'll tell you, this is breaking news here, okay? I have a food truck I'm working on opening eventually in the near future, and so I've already got ahead of myself and wrote a series about the character on the food truck, which is called Yo Dog, The Adventures of Yo Dog. So it's about a magical food truck and a whole story about that.
So you're already like continuing to write. Do you find you write one book and then your brain and your imagination is like, I just have this idea and that idea?
I'll tell you. So I've been working on a children's album called Little Minds and Bigger Rhymes, which comes out March 2nd.
Okay.
And so with that comes some more books as well, which you'll be able to like scan a QR code on the book. It's going to bring you to a music video, and all of that's happening as well. Yeah.
Because I mean, music and kids books, it just kind of goes hand in hand.
For sure, 100%. I hear you have some children.
I do. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So I wanted to give you this book, if it's okay.
So
that's for them.
Absolutely.
And let me know what they think about it.
Absolutely. And like you said, kids don't lie. So we will get some honest reviews on it.
Tell me what it's like. You know?
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And for other people who are looking to get a copy, where can they do so?
The best place to do so is my website, jmorrisnow.com/children's content.
Okay.
And you can get the book directly from
we'll
there.
look for new music and more books on the way. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're welcome. We're so excited to have you here. And here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street this morning. A very mild day on the way. 2 degrees is the high with some sunshine. It is 8:17. This week, Sophie and Jeff from Move 100 got an email from Clara. She and her boyfriend of 4 years broke up about 2 months ago, and she started dating her sister's non-serious ex-boyfriend. And this is where it gets weird, because Clara has found out that her sister is dating the ex Clara just broke up with. Neither have told each other the news, and Clara wants to know what to do. It's a tangled web in this week's Therapy Thursday.
So what's the advice that's coming in for Clara? Anne says, oh, I want to be at that Christmas dinner. It's like a movie, but seriously, no one's allowed to be mad if all 4 of you are doing the same thing.
I think that's right. Things cancel each other out here,
This is an even Steven situation. Could you imagine if their names were Steven?
Oh, amazing.
That'd be funny.
Jenna Lee says, invite both exes to dinner. It'll be fun. And Cammie responds, they probably even know the address.
Someone even put a cherry meme on our socials. And Brian says, I'm excited to watch this on Hallmark next Christmas. I love that. That's great.
All right, from Cam, sounds like these two men like the family more than the sisters. They can't seem to stay away. Since they're both sisters doing the same thing, bring the men to dinner, grab some popcorn, enjoy the show. It's going to be one to remember in years to come for certain.
The weird part is that Clara's sister wants to keep it from Clara. That part I don't understand. And here's where it gets a bit tricky because sisters have a very interesting dynamic.
Okay.
Even the closest of sisters still have these weird things where sometimes there's like a little bit of deception here, a little bit of jealousy there, a little bit of like, it depends on who's older and who's younger.
Sure.
So I don't know what the history of their relationship is. Has this been something that's happened, Clara, before where you guys have dipped, the nib in each other's ink, so to speak? I'm just saying,
Jen says, OMG, messy. Come clean right away and make a pact with your sister out of respect for each other since both relationships are so new. How about no boyfriends at Christmas dinner this year?
Yeah. Lisa says, please take a video.
I know, it's like...
People are excited about the dinner.
If you're the parents, you'd be like, what's happening? I'd have to get an abacus out.
Oh, my gosh. My dad would be like, please make it stop. He would just spend time in a different room.
Yeah, he'd go to the bathroom.
All right, Claire,
Well, athletes from Ottawa are gearing up for the Winter Olympics. Hard to believe we're just weeks away now. One of them is speed skater Isabel Weideman, and she actually joins us this morning to tell us more about the Sobeys Feed the Dream program. Good morning to you, Isabel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's so great having you here to talk about your big journey and the journey you've had so far. And a big part of that goes to the people that have been around you, in your corner. Can you talk about some of those supporters along the journey?
Yeah, I guess my career in sport has been so focused on family and supported by family for so long. I mean, my brother's also on the national team, so we get to train a lot together as well. But we're supported by our parents back home in Ottawa. I have a massive collection of friends there, and the club as well, the community from Ottawa has just been such a big part of my sporting career so far.
And how has that influenced you? Because, you get to share these moments. Sure, you're grinding every day by yourself, making sure you're at that elite level, but sharing it with your family and friends must be really special.
Yeah, it's amazing. And especially like the Olympics in 2022, nobody got to come. There was nobody in the stands. Like my family was, my family was watching on TV, but because of COVID, like everybody had to stay home. And so this Olympics, people are getting the opportunity to come and travel and come and watch in person. And the energy is really high. Like I'm visiting family right now, right before the holidays. And people are stoked about coming and watching and being able to cheer us on in person.
Oh, I can only imagine. All right, now let's turn the focus to being a part of Team Sobeys and the Feed the Dream. What has that meant to you? And can you tell us a little bit about the program itself?
Yeah, it's been a massive help, not just for myself, but Sobeys has done a lot for the amateur athlete community across Canada, especially after the Olympics. They've, after 2022, they had this kind of gift card program where they were helping athletes feed the dream, buy groceries. That's a massive struggle for a lot of athletes coming up in sport across the country. And it's been a really, really cool family to be a part of. Like they've supported me for years now, and to get to be a part of that campaign and with the athletes that are also involved in that, it's been a massive support going into these games.
It must be so great, like having that, and that's what sticks with you for life, right? Regardless of whether it's right now, continuing on your journey and beyond, those are memories you'll have forever. But before I let you go, I have to ask you, is there another memory that even set you on this path? Can you remember back in the day you were like, this is where I'm going, and I'm going at it full force?
There have been so many moments in my career where I have got like a little taste of what it feels like to be an Olympian, or have had these dreams that have like really been fed, I guess. And one of them actually is from, I was probably about 10 years old, 12 years old. One of my first years speed skating. And I remember watching the Olympics in 2010 and watching Christina Groves, who is another Ottawa native, win a bronze medal with my club, my speed skating club. and being so inspired by that moment and watching her stand on the world stage and, you know, get to wear this maple leaf and then have this medal around her neck, and just being so fueled by that moment. And yeah, so that one sticks with me a lot.
Well, I love that, because you know what? One day I'm sure there'll be people that are going to look up to you and have those similar moments. Isabel, good luck from all of us here at the CTV Your Morning Ottawa team. And again, thanks for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we are taking a sneak peek from our angled camera, because coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, do you want to stretch your rotisserie chicken? Mike and Evelyn from Queensview Cafe have some ideas to make that rotisserie last a little bit longer, especially with the cost of everything just continuing to climb. We'll take a peek outside through our Skycam. Snowy for now, but rainfall and warmth on the way over the next couple of days. We'll be right back.
I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Will Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
8:30 on the nose, and we're going to start with our news headlines, because there's fury in Minneapolis this morning after a woman was shot dead by an immigration and customs enforcement officer.
No justice! Not me! No justice! Not me!
Thousands of people turned up for the vigil to remember the 37-year-old woman named Renee Nicole Macklin Good, a mother to a 6-year-old child. The Department of Homeland Security says ICE agents were in the city executing an immigration crackdown. And a warning to viewers, the video in this story is disturbing.
No! No! Oh my God!
The Department of Homeland Security confirmed the woman was shot in her vehicle, alleging she tried to run over law enforcement officers.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Local leaders and an angry community say that that's not true, now demanding that ICE leave their community. This shooting took place just 4 blocks from where George Floyd died in 2020.
Turning now to dramatic video capturing the moment a car drove off a bridge in Gatineau and landed on the ice below. Emergency crews were called to the Traverse Bridge in Gatineau Saturday morning. Police say 2 vehicles were traveling westbound when one rear-ended the other. That vehicle then lost control, went over the bridge railing, and ended up on the frozen Gatineau River below the bridge. The driver was able to get out of the vehicle on his own and did not appear to be injured, but was taken to hospital as a precaution.
People forget that it can be very slippery, particularly if you're over a structure that's over a river or a water thing. With the condensation, the black ice is another thing to watch out for.
Police say an investigation is now underway and no further details are being released at this time. The former City of Ottawa lawyer who defaced the Holocaust War Monument will not serve any more time behind bars. A judge handed down a suspended sentence, angering many in the Jewish community. This is Ian Aspenleader walking out of court after being released. He was sentenced to 152 days of time served, amounting to roughly 5 months of custody. In July, Aspenleader pleaded guilty to splashing red paint and writing the words "Feed Me" on the Holocaust monument in June. He says he was making a connection between the Holocaust and what's currently happening to Palestinian people.
OC Transpo has pulled some of its new paratransport buses off the road after the heat stopped working this winter. The new 7-meter minibuses were only put into service in June, but already users were raising concerns. OC Transpo says 5 out of the 41 new buses experienced mechanical defects after entering service. These issues are not systemic across the fleet. As soon as heating concerns were identified, the vehicles were removed from service.
When are they going to be fixed? Are they going to be fixed for this winter? Or are we going to struggle all winter having to wear 2 coats or whatever, mitts and hats in the bus? You know, if this was a conventional service, there would be public outcry.
Paratransport users say that these new buses have other issues, including seatbelts that jam and not enough room on the ramp to get inside.
The high-profile attorney representing Rob Reiner's son has resigned, but is insisting Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. He asked to be replaced by a public defender. The judge approved that request and delayed Nick Reiner's arraignment. He has been held without bail since his parents were found stabbed to death in their LA home 3 weeks ago. The arraignment is now set for February 23rd. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be heading to China next week. The visit will take place from January 13th to the 17th. The Prime Minister's office says the meeting is meant to elevate engagement on trade, energy, agriculture, and international security. It will mark the first visit to China by a Canadian Prime Minister since 2017.
Hospitals in our region continue to be inundated with influenza cases, and the Ottawa Hospital has been forced to start using some unconventional spaces for temporary overflow. The old ambulance bay, unofficially called the garage at the Ottawa General Hospital, is being utilized with space for up to 20 patients. And while demand is high at the hospital, it does appear that things are starting to stabilize.
Right now, I'm seeing a bit of a downturn. However, that's not to say that we're not out of the influenza season.
Dr. Paul adds in recent weeks after messaging that the flu is particularly hard on children. Health officials in Eastern Ontario are seeing an almost twofold increase in kids getting the flu shot.
The grand prize winner of Chio's Dream of a Lifetime got to see a first look at her new home.
Welcome to your new home.
Amy Savard stepped into her new home for the first time. She's the winner of this year's grand prize in the Chio Dream of a Lifetime lottery, a package worth $3.7 million, which also includes cash, a Mercedes SUV, groceries, and more.
If you bought a ticket for the Chio Dream of a Lifetime lottery, you still might be a winner. Winning numbers for many other prizes can be found at dreamofalifetime.ca. And I love when they say welcome to your home too, because right when you walk in, there's like that massive ceiling with the chandelier hanging from above. So you walk in and you go, all right, this is my spot.
I'm home.
Yeah, I'm home.
What a beautiful home indeed. A great day for us to get outside. It's going to be mild and sunny,
yes.
So take advantage.
Thank you, Melissa.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, just don't hate me when it turns back to being cold. We are seeing a high of 2 degrees today. Normal for this time of the year is around -6, so we will be well above that into the afternoon. The sun setting today, 4:37 p.m., so a nice long day on the way for us. Still sitting at 1 here this morning, so temperatures haven't moved. And again, we won't warm up too much, but it is quite mild this morning, as well as what will continue to be into the afternoon. And no wind chill out there this morning. Still slightly cloudy out there. We will see cloudy conditions till about 9-10 o'clock. Then those clouds will move through, making way for some sunshine today. So we will see lots of sunshine in your Thursday forecast. It will stay sunny right through to the late part of your day this evening. We're expecting some clouds overnight. And then, yes, tomorrow we saw that big green system move through. That's bringing rain. So we're expecting 5 up to 10 millimeters of rain throughout the day tomorrow. So Friday looking a little bit soggy. Today, nice and warm and sunny. 2 degrees is the high for Ottawa, 3 in Cornwall, as well as in Trenton, Kingston. So mild across the region today. And everybody's seeing sunshine, except for areas to the north of us, Kittigan, Zibi, Mont-Tremblant. You're expecting more cloudy conditions. Could even see some flurries today. Temperatures hovering around 0 over in Mont-Tremblant. Over the next week, very mild for us here in Ottawa. -3 is the overnight low, so even staying quite warm overnight. Tomorrow, 6 degrees is the high. Could see a little bit of sunshine, but mainly cloudy skies with some rain, 5 to 10 millimeters, then 5 to 10 centimeters of snow as we head in through the weekend. Forecast of Saturday, Sunday looking a little snowy. Temperatures still quite warm, even though we will be below that freezing mark. Mild for this time of the year. It will continue to stay mild as we head into next week, and we have more fresh powder on the way.
Weather brought to you by Yekendorf Rashid. Experience, knowledge, and a commitment to excellence.
For those of you using transit this morning, there is a stop train on line 1. Services operating on the westbound platforms only at Cyrville and Saint Laurent, and you'll have to change trains over at Saint Laurent Centre this morning. Traffic still heavy. Eastbound 417 seeing build-up beginning at Moody and through Bronson. Westbound still seeing congestion between the 174 split and through Nicholas.
Mike and Evelyn joined us from Kingsview Cafe this morning, and we're going to talk about how to make that rotisserie chicken last a little bit longer. We've already had 3 of our staff members walk by the table and give an extra little right look, a little left look, picking up the ingredients. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course, it's so great to have you guys here. And I want to talk about what we can do with that rotisserie chicken. And you're going to give us an example today about how to stretch it a little bit further with some meals.
Yes, we're all about saving some money. Today we're going to use the rotisserie chicken. So basically what we're going to do is the chicken tenga. How we do that? So we start with the tomatoes, put it inside the mixer, half of the onion. And then we have over here the garlic. Obviously the size depends on how much you want. And
measure with your heart.
And then a little bit of chicken broth, okay? And then all we need to do, simple, mix it up. Oh, I forgot the water.
Mike, we need the water. There it is.
Some water.
Yeah.
Mix it up for 5-10 minutes. And then with some TV magic,
dun, 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 dun.
The perfect broth, perfect sauce for the chicken tenga.
I love that. And it's so easy too, right? Once you do that and you have the sauce made on there.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you can put that with? Because you got some bread, you got some rice here.
It depends on,
Yes, of course. So
all right, Evelyn, you're up.
we were mentioning the chicken leftovers. So how can you transform your leftovers and they are not as boring as, and we reach for them. So we can put a little bit of onion to saute, and if we shred the chicken in it, then the start of the show is the sauce that Mike just did.
Oh yeah, okay, now we're teaming up.
Yeah.
Mike and Evelyn are together now.
Yeah. So if you let it sizzle for a little bit, 3-4 minutes, mix it around. Just let all those flavors like come together, let them meet each other, and 4 minutes after that, you should have something like this.
Oh, already looks so good.
This makes sure it's so easy to manage with whatever else you have left in your fridge.
Okay.
So it can go in any type of bread. Obviously, I'm Mexican, so I will reach out for a tortilla.
I was going to say, what's going to be your favorite? All right, so we grab the tortilla.
So, yeah.
I'll say the tortilla.
Of course.
Perfect.
But let me show you.
I have to now that you've suggested it.
Let me show you a couple of examples. Again, make it as pretty as you like, whatever you have in the fridge. It can come with lettuce. It can come, if you want it a little bit more Mexican, it can come with cilantro. And just put it in anything you have on the fridge, to be honest. That's why we love this, because it's so versatile.
It's easy. The kids will love it. It's perfect.
And it's fun too, right? Because if someone likes the tortilla more or like the pretzel bun or whatever, they can each have one, but you're getting a similar meal.
So yeah, you make it as pretty as you want, as healthy as you like.
I love that. And this is where the kids, we have the separation. Even me and my siblings, you know, like the cheese, the lettuce, the cilantro. Everyone's got their own way of doing things. I want to talk about the restaurant as a whole, because you've had so much success. And I want to talk about last year's honoring and then what you're into this year as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but we are nominated for the 2nd year in a row for the Canadian Choice Award. Very proud of that accomplishment. And of course, keep an eye on our socials. If we win this year, we have a big surprise for everybody, so stay tuned.
Yes, and I'll be on charge giving the prize away. So yeah, stay tuned and I'll share the prize.
Oh, so Mike, you got a big job coming up too when it's going to be the prize.
For sure.
How great has been the response from the community that coming in and sharing your passion for what you guys do?
It's amazing. You know, that's what we wanted to bring, something easy to cook to everybody. We live in such a culture-rich country that people just welcome us with open arms, even when we bring different things like chipotle and a lot of options from the international line. It is so refreshing to see how people are willing to try, to give it a try.
And we're all about the community, so that's why every event we try to always give back to the community.
I love that. You talk about the chipotle. I'm obviously going to take a bite of this because I can't not. What are some of the other ingredients and foods that people might not be aware of that you guys offer, and you got to give this a try because it is really unique with different cultures of the food you guys create?
Absolutely. We have a lot of different ways to preparing the same meat, right? So I'm sure everybody has heard about the birria tacos becoming very, very popular. We also have different options that help a lot with a lot of leftovers. If you have meat, chicken, pork with this specific paste, you can just blend 2 spoons with water and you transform a dish absolutely different and new and refreshing. There are obviously different cultures share a lot of the same ingredients. It's just a different way of managing it. So Yeah, just like the chipotle, you can completely transform a sauce. Mole can completely transform any meat you have left over in the fridge. So.
I love that. Well, I'm a huge fan of the sandwich here and what you guys create. Mike, Evelyn, thank you for coming in, sharing your story, and providing us some of that culture because it is delicious.
Thank you very much for having us.
Of course. And this is all going to be gone momentarily with our staff. There's another guy over here now. That's 4 total staff that want some food. If you have a great chef, you know of a local kitchen, a spot you want to be featured, email us your morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. Taking a piece to our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. And Mike, what do we see out there?
So it's a beautiful city of Ottawa.
And what type of precipitation is that on the ground?
Some snow, but not much. Very clear.
Oh, Melissa, watch out. Mike's gunning for your job. We'll be right back.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Kicking it off with your Ottawa Black Bears. Join them tomorrow at Canadian Tire Centre while they host the Halifax Thunderbirds and spend the night honoring the Indigenous origins of lacrosse. Fans will experience the spirit of the game through vibrant storytelling, cultural moments, and of course, intense on-floor action. You don't want to miss it. Grab your tickets at ottawablackbears.com. Next up, 613 Flea is back on Saturday inside the Aberdeen Pavilion at Lansdowne. You can browse items from over 150 vendors, including vintage clothing, antiques, and one-of-a-kind finds. Admission is free, and it runs from 10 to 4 p.m. And last on the list today, the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships are happening this weekend at Slush Puppy Centre in Gatineau. This is featuring almost 200 skaters in the men, women, pairs, ice dance, and synchronized skating disciplines. And they're competing for some spots on the national team, which is so exciting. Make sure you check it out. Of course, lots more happening as the new year gets underway in the capital. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tania Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
We are diving into a range of services and spaces that make Good Life Fitness a truly unique destination for community, health, and leisure. Joining us today is Nikki Anastasakis to tell us what sets their facilities apart. Good morning to you. Happy New Year, Nikki.
Happy New Year. I am kicking off the year here at Good Life, which is Canada's gym. January is always a busy time for good gym goers. But what's standing out this year is people are finding their own unique approaches to working out and staying active. So I'm going to get right into some exciting features of Good Life.
So much fun. As I understand it, Nikki, you had a tour with a personal trainer. What'd you find there?
Yeah, so working with a personal trainer makes taking those first steps in the gym really easy. There's a lot of confusing information out there online about what is right and wrong to do when it comes to fitness. So they're certified trainers, they're certified professionals. They work with you to create a personalized routine and plan. My trainer, Christian, started me off in the weight room. As you can see, he took me through some weight training basics. No trends or fads, simple movements with proper techniques that have been proven to deliver results. He also then introduced me to the turf zone where we tried some functional training. This workout focused on exercises that build more than just muscle. They build stability and confidence and how your body moves day to day. So I urge you guys, if you do sign up to Good Life, test out those personal training options.
What about Good Life's group fitness classes and regimen?
Yeah, so regimen, stepping away from the gym floor regimen is when you step into the studio, you're not really in a gym. It's more like a party. It is a coach-led high-energy class that builds cardio and resistance training for maximum results, building strength and endurance. The classes are structured so you're constantly switching stations, keeping things engaging. And it's motivating, a community-style workout where the music, energy, and coaching makes it easy to push yourself and see progress. Good Life Fitnesses do not all offer regimen training, but they will all offer some sort of group fitness class training, including bodyweight training, Pilates, high intensity. So check any of those out.
Nikki, recovery is a huge part of fitness. What can members use in the recovery room? And tell us about that.
Yeah, so when you get to the recovery room, they're designed to help you unwind, stretch, and take care of your body. The recovery rooms include things like massage chairs, compression boots, cryotherapy tools, and a lot of equipment to help you unwind, relax your muscles, and encourage you to slow down. You know, fitness isn't just about training hard, but it's also about feeling good.
Lastly, where can people go to sign up and access all these incredible offerings at Good Life?
GoodLifeFitness.com has everything you need to sign up. You can also visit your local Good Life and ask the experts there any questions you have. And here in Ottawa, there are 13 Good Life locations. There are also over 200 across Canada. So for wherever you might be, visit Good Life, and whether you want to try a traditional workout approach or do something new this year, Good Life has all these offerings and so much more.
Nikki Anastasakis, thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at what's coming up on the show tomorrow. We got plenty in store here. We're checking out this week's new movies with Mr. Hollywood, Matt Demers, plus what you can expect at the grocery store checkout in 2026, and a local restaurant in Arnprior joins us. We introduce you to Sandy's Country Kitchen. Who's going to get that assignment?
That sounds delicious.
Will it be Melissa or myself? If it's either you or me, Melissa, then, you know, Will just still may come in, because he has a tendency of jumping in, grabbing a little food.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've done such things.
We'll have to see here.
Well, such delicious food that we have here on the show. And I did save you both some taco chicken over there in both fajita, salad, or pretzel bun area. So
so
yes,
good, too.
right?
It had like such a nice taco seasoning flavoring. I'm like,
yeah.
Ooh.
It's like
delish.
it had the true like taco fajita feeling, but it wasn't like taco fajita traditional seasoning. It was made like with a sauce, so it's just like kind of in depth covered in the chicken. So it is very tasty.
Some great ideas. I love when I get ideas that I can implement in my house. So like what I could do with those leftover chicken bits, and I'm like, I don't want the same kind of chicken the next day. What can I do with it? So it's such a great idea to change it up, completely different flavor, but same good protein.
Yeah, and I liked it too because it was a little bit different with the kids, where it's like each one's different. Because if you like, we've had this debate this week, cilantro, not cilantro, or cheese or not cheese, or whatever it had be. You can place them on whichever one you want.
And just a reminder, we're in store for a very warm day here in Ottawa. 2 degrees is the high, mix of sun and cloud later on this afternoon. Tomorrow, it's looking wet, staying warm, and then we could see some snow in through Saturday, Sunday. But overall, a warm week ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the coldest.
And messy.
Messy.
Yes. The back of my pants coming in now, you're getting all like 30.
I roll them into my socks.
Yes, that's
not,
a good idea.
It's not fashionable, but it's functional.
But that's the best way to protect the pant, right? Because you know the shoes, they're going to get dirty.
We'll see you right back here tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Take good care.